Hi everyone, welcome to our newest series of the Lupus 101. We're doing cannabis and lupus, and actually we're dealing with the pain in lupus and cannabis. We've got two experts here that will kind of inform you about what's going on. We're going to answer your questions. And we are, Spannon just reminded me to let you know who we are. We are the Lupus Foundation of Northern California, and we're located in San Jose. We are having an upcoming walk coming up in June. If you'd like to come join us, it's a great event. It's a lot of fun. And also wanted to remind you we have a Lupus 101 series coming up every single month. And we're not sure quite yet what next month's will be, but we'll let you know as soon as we do. And you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and find out what's going on. So I wanted to introduce you today we have Amber Center here, and we have Jane Topicals.
Hi.
And so I'm going to let them introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about them and why they use the cannabis products, and then we're going to go into a little bit of the legal ramifications of everything, and then we'll take your questions. So I'll let you two introduce yourself. Do you want to start, Jane, or?
Okay. Hi guys, my name is Jane Topicals, and I'm a lupus patient of 13 years now. I actually run a support group in Hayward at the Weeks Branch Library, and I came into affiliation with the Lupus Foundation of Northern California because I started a support group with the House Foundation, and talked to Erin, Christine, and we came into doing a sponsorship together in a partnership. So that's every third Saturday, and I use cannabis because it helps me a lot. Specifically, I use more CBD-based products because it helps me with my pain, my inflammation. It helps me with my insomnia and really helps me sleep at night and helps me with my anxiety. And it's just like a really great relaxation for me. So that's why I use it. I think it's amazing. And here's Amber.
And we'll let Amber go next. Go ahead, Amber.
So my name is Amber Center. I am a lupus SLE patient. I was diagnosed in October of 2013. I'm 36 years old, but pretty sure I've suffered with the symptoms and dealing with the lupus issue my whole life, pretty much. I work in the cannabis industry. I have an edibles company, an infused cannabis products company. Name of it is Leisure Life. We make indica dominant products for relaxation because everybody deserves to chill. And I want to chill because I deal with a lot of, the ongoing pain. I mean, being an entrepreneur in the cannabis industry is very demanding. I've done a few speaking engagements and things about marketing. My background's in marketing. And so I have to travel a lot, I have to do a lot. I mean, I run two businesses. One of them is an infused company, the other is a little pre-roll company. And it's just a lot, it's very demanding. So I take my medicine very seriously because I need relief. And so I find that indica dominant products help a lot with a little bit of CBD. I'm not very CBD heavy. I like a lot of THC with a little bit of CBD thrown in there. Yeah, that's pretty much me in a nutshell.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead with our legal stuff, but I want to let you know in this time right now, if you want to go ahead and submit any questions you have for Amber or Jane, we'll go ahead and put them up on a board for them and we'll answer those for you. So I'm going to read this for you because I can't do it all by memory. So, I'm going to say, before we begin, we want to go over some of the legal issues related to cannabis and marijuana. While the state of California has had medical marijuana laws on the books for years, and in 2016 legalized recreational use, it remains a banned substance under federal law. Cannabis products specifically made from hemp rather than marijuana, however, have no such restrictions and are completely legal. In addition to California, the following states have legalized both recreational and medicinal uses of marijuana. We have Oregon, Washington State, Alaska, Colorado, Maine, Massachusetts, and Nevada, and California, but we already said that. So other states like Florida, Montana, Ohio, New York, Pennsylvania, and a few others have legalized marijuana for medical use, but not recreational use. in these states, hold on, in these states, you must have a medical marijuana license to use the products. For full details on your state's laws, please refer to resources in your state. You can also message us on Facebook, but please be aware that it may take us a while for us to do all the research and get back to you. In all events, the Lupus Foundation of Northern California does not give medical advice. We present this and all other live events for informational purposes. Please be sure to always consult your healthcare team before deciding on a change on your course of treatment. That being said, once again, welcome and thank you for joining us. So Jane and Amber, we'll let you guys take it away, and I'm going to go back there so I can read the questions for you and I'll leave it up to you guys. So I'll ask the first question that we have for you, and it is CBD versus THC. And is it effective to use only one if you're just using CBC, or do you, like Amber, I know you feel that there's more of a THC, you need that. So if you guys want to elaborate a little bit on that and kind of go from there.
I think on my part, the main difference with CBD and THC is that
maybe sorry, but start with like what CBD is and what THC is and what.
Yeah, there's some people that are
if you
new.
can explain the difference and then go into, you know,
just so that people kind of know what
they are
CBD
first
is and what THC is, because there's a lot of people that don't know the differences yet because it's so new. Mm-hmm. So just to kind of get that all out there for them.
So cannabis is made of a number of cannabinoids that kind of give cannabis its traits. So and also its effects. So it's 33 identified cannabinoids in cannabis, I believe. I could be wrong, but yeah, don't quote me on that. But
sounds about right.
But there are some that are much more popular and dominant than others. Now, our bodies have cannabinoid receptors in them, so that when we ingest cannabis, the cannabinoids from the cannabis connect with the cannabinoids in our body, our cannabinoid receptors in our body, and give us these effects that we feel from cannabis. So the popular ones that a lot of people know of or have been hearing about would be THC, which is tetrahydrocannabinol. And what that is that's the psychoactive side of cannabis, the side that I like. And then there's CBD, which is the much more medicinal side of cannabis. It's seen as being the anti-anxiety side of cannabis, also the anti-inflammatory side of cannabis, which is obviously what we care about here dealing with lupus, since it's, deals with our inflammation and things like that. So I like to have a nice kind of combination of both of them, because the THC can be relaxing. It depends on what type of other cannabinoids and terpenes are mixed in. And terpenes are what gives cannabis its smell and its taste. And those also kind of play into what the overall effect is going to give you. So, now that all the science is happening with cannabis and people are kind of able to pick apart all these little pieces of it, you can kind of create the effect that you really want, or at least seek out the effect that you really want. So I like really heavy indicas. There's indica and sativa, mainly in cannabis. Indica is going to be your more heavy, body high type of stone, very relaxing, put you to sleep possibly. The sativa is very much an uppy, heady kind of feeling, very bubbly, sometimes racy in the heart and a bit palpitations, things like that for some people. It does it for me. That's why I prefer the indica side. But you can really create your own kind of effect and feel, especially if you do combine both the THC and CBD, get some of both of the effects from it. Yeah.
Jane, anything to add to that?
I'm gonna kind of mainly speak on my experiences. So with CBD, the cannabidiol is really great for like me and like I said, like my anxiety and everything. I know that like for myself, before I was diagnosed with lupus, I was a THC user for over 10 years and it worked with my body so well. But for some reason, I know it's different for you, but after I got diagnosed and I wasn't really sure if it was like the medication they put me on or what, but it started making me feel like negative effects. Like my body would start shaking and, you know, like my heart would start racing and I would just feel really uncomfortable and it wouldn't be like relaxing and like feel good to me anymore. So then that's why, you know, I wanted to try something else and I found CBD and it just works really well with my body and kind of like what I need. But I will say that I miss THC very much. But there are some products that I use that do have THC in them, but just like a smaller amount as well. And from what I've heard is that having a small amount of THC in with the CBD helps to activate it as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, it definitely does. There's some synergy between the CBD and the THC, and when they're working together, it's very it's like they're in harmony versus just trying to take one and not include the other. You have a little bit of both. It maximizes the effect for sure.
Perfect. So I don't know if either of you two have the answers to this one, but we are wondering if someone is wondering if it is okay to use in patients with seizures. Do you, either of you?
Yeah,
Again, talk to their doctor.
Yeah, definitely talk to your doctor. I mean, there's been a whole bunch of research behind children dealing with epilepsy and taking CBD to control that, and there's been a lot of success. But that's something that you definitely want to have a conversation with your doctor about.
Yeah. I've actually, I've seen quite a bit of videos, I don't know if you have too, but about, you know, children or, you know, people with seizures or tremors or, you know, a lot of different things, different ailments, and they use, you know, THC or CBD or, you know, a mix of both, any cannabinoids, and it actually really helps to calm down, you know, the tremors, you know, the seizures, you know, a bunch of different things. So I can't speak on it obviously because they're not doctors, but I have seen, you know, some research and, you know, good results with people using cannabis to treat different ailments.
So
even like autism too. My boyfriend, one of his good friends has autism, or actually his child has autism, and he gave him some of the, actually it was this product, the Theramu, and this is actually a hemp-derived CBD, and it helped him a huge amount. Yeah.
I have an aunt that has Parkinson's, and the tincture drops have helped her a great deal, and she's able to stop shaking and able to get up out of a wheelchair and walk. So I know that the benefits definitely are there for other illnesses as well. Are there any risks associated with using either CBD or THC?
Well, I mean, it's really going to depend on your body and how your body reacts to it. You know, I mean, my body loves THC and CBD, but you also just heard what Jane said and her reaction to THC. So it's definitely a case by case type of scenario, and also, I mean, lupus is that way anyway. It's very much varies from person to person. So cannabis is the same way.
I don't think I've heard of anyone overdosing from cannabis.
Yeah. I mean, you can't die from it.
But side effects will definitely vary.
Yeah.
Do not operate heavy machinery. That can avoid you.
Just depends on the person.
Some people might drive better.
So I kind of have a question that I think ties into a concern that a lot of people have, which is access to it. So, Jane, for you, before we had California had legalized recreational use, how did you get access to medical uses of it? Did you have to use a special clinic? What did you do?
So basically, what I did was I went to a clinic that I knew did have doctors that registered medical marijuana cards, and I just, it was simple. I just, made an appointment. I went in. I told him about some of the symptoms I have, and a little bit about my health background, and I was granted a medical marijuana card that was good for a year. So every year you have to reactivate it, and I mean, as of right now, it is, legal for recreational use. However, if you do want to, actually purchase at like a dispensary or, anything else, then you do need your card to be able to go into a dispensary and buy cannabis legally.
Okay,
I've heard too that you can gift it to other people.
Yeah.
At least in California. Do you know if that's true in other states also?
Just here in California.
Just here in California.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so, for Amber, since you're in the industry, what are the current regulations that you guys face in the industry to get people access to it?
Oh man, that's a pretty loaded question. So we're actually going through some regulation right now. It will be legal here in California. Well, it's legal now, but people will be able to come into the dispensary and make purchases if you're over the age of 21 with valid ID. The issue and what's really concerning to me as a patient is that I see the recreational side and the medical side becoming one. And the issue with that is that there are a lot of people who need strong meds. So the caps for patients will be 100 milligrams. Some days when I'm in a lot of pain, I can take 150 milligrams like nothing, and that's really concerning because it's just going to drive up the price a lot for the patient. We're going to have to pay a lot more taxes than what we're doing now as far as, participating in the medical program. And I really feel like on the recreational side, I mean, they won't be so medically inclined. Maybe some companies will, but some companies won't. And I'm just really concerned for certain products that are out that patients depend on might not be there after regulation and everything kicks in January. So as a business owner, it's very exciting, obviously. I mean, we're going to have an explosion in our customer base. Mm-hmm. But as a patient, I'm very concerned because a lot of these small manufacturers and bakers and producers just won't be able to get everything together to be licensed, to even go out and get a license. It's very expensive. The licensing fee in Oakland is $12,000, and that's just for Oakland. You have to pay a state licensing fee. You have to have a location. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into applying for a license, and with the smaller people getting cut out of that, it's concerning.
Do you see, in the future, with people with medical conditions maybe getting, help with products that contain THC or CBD? Or because I know that right now it's expensive for a lot of patients, and one of our patients just mentioned how expensive it does get.
Yeah.
So do you see anything in the future for medical patients to get some kind of help with that kind of medication, or do you think that it's kind of just on your own?
It's tough because the way the trend is moving is everything is going recreational, and they want everything to be one industry versus these two paths, recreational and medical, because it's just so much paperwork and to different tax structures and everything for the state to deal with. That's a lot. So if they are putting everything into one channel and calling it recreational, they'll tax it like recreational.
So it could get more expensive to those patients right now, those of us that use the products.
So it's really important that patients talk to their senators, the legislators, Congress, and let people know that you depend on this medicine and you need it affordable. we're not recreational patients, recreational users. We're medical patients, you know, and we get certain breaks on our pharmaceutical meds. Why not for cannabis?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So we will all hit up our representatives here in California.
Absolutely. Yeah, now is the time because they're listening and they're taking comments.
Perfect. So another person had a question about CBD age limits. So I know that THC has to have, like you mentioned, the 21 age limit. What about CBD products? Is that monitored? Can you buy that online? Can anybody buy it online? Can you?
Hemp-derived CBD, I know it can be purchased online.
Okay. And that leads us to our next question. What is the difference between hemp-derived
and cannabis?
And cannabis itself? Because even I don't know the difference.
Oh, you can go ahead.
Okay. So cannabis-derived CBD most of the time will have a little bit of THC in it. People say that it's better because it comes from cannabis and it's just more natural. But you have to be careful with the CBD derived from hemp. Some of it is good. Some of it comes from trusted growers and clean manufacturers, but some of it doesn't. Not all CBD is created equal.
So I know that there's a lot of different ways to use CBD. Can you guys both touch on, I see that Jane has a whole little supply of stuff that she's going to share with all of us afterwards, but in the meantime, can you both kind of introduce them onto like the different ways that you can use the products and how different ones will affect you. Like for me, personally, like I've told people if they're going to try edibles, never try edibles alone by themselves the first time because they don't know the dose, if they don't know the dosage and stuff. So what about other products? What would you recommend if people have lung issues? Is it better to vape, to eat it, to do drops? You know, can you guys go on over the products?
Do you want me to just kind of touch on like some of the products because I have like a pretty wide smorgasbord
of
places and stuff. I know that I personally I had a lot of lung complications with my lupus at the end of 2015. I was intubated 3 times. I was on dialysis. Lots of crazy things going on. So I just have a little bit of anxiety with doing too much smoking and things like that. I do actually use a vape from time to time, which I have here, but the vape is probably the one that I use the least just because I do get a lot of like the chest heaviness and shortness of breath. So this is like a once in a while thing for me. But if you do have lung complications like myself, I do suggest using a tincture. Like these, this is Theramu, and then this is actually a hemp-derived brand, but they use industrial hemp, and they also use emu oil in it too, and this product, Can Originals, also uses emu oil. They're kind of like a sister brand together, except the Can Originals has some THC in it, and this one is pure CBD as well. So I know that this is just like the most amazing hemp-derived CBD brand. I had my last support group topic on this, and it just works so well for the pain and inflammation. And then I also have this here, and this is from Dr. Brokeleg, who has the Cannabis, and this is CBD, but it's 47% CBD and 2.4% THC in it. This is a really potent formula. Have you heard of Formula 55? It's supposed to be like a very potent pain relief formula that they use on like cancer patients and people with really serious illnesses. And I noticed that with this, I do have to take a little bit less at nighttime when I use it, just because there's been a couple times where I had a little bit too much, and then I was like, okay, a little bit too much for me. So probably I do about like a teaspoon of it at a time, sometimes 2 teaspoons, depending on how I'm feeling. And then with these, I do about half of the dropper full, and with this one, I do just a full dropper full. And then I love candy. I have a sweet tooth. So what's nice is you can kind of put, I know CBD and THC in about anything and everything. So like there's edibles, these are peach rings and gummy worms, and then there's even beef jerky. So there's a lot of great things. These products, and this is a hard candy, so these products are all just cannabis-derived CBD. This is cannabis-derived CBD with some THC in it as well. And then this is hemp-derived CBD. So there's all different things, and it comes in all shapes and forms. I love the topicals for when we have, Oh, okay. You said to hold up the product. So the topicals are amazing when you have like a lot of that deep-rooted like pain and inflammation in your joints and in your muscles. It actually works really good even if you just have like a headache or something like that, to just rub a little bit in. And I know the combination of the emu oil and the CBD in it really helps as a vector to penetrate through all the layers of the skin and go right to the source of like the pain and inflammation. So this has been one of the most effective products that I've used for my pain and inflammation and various other things.
So Amber, I know that you're more on the THC side. Do you use any of the balms?
I do. I'm a huge fan of topicals. Topicals, I mean, I loved ingesting cannabis in every single form possible. I'm a dabber. I smoke joints. I eat edibles. I eat canna caps. I take tinctures. I do it, everything. I hit bombs. I smoke pipes. Like, everything, you know? So, yeah. I love weed. But I'm a huge fan of topicals. Topicals is probably my number second favorite way of ingesting or using cannabis. I love cannabis capsules. They're little pills. Basically, it's like a little bit of cannabis oil inside of a capsule. I like it because sometimes I'm so sick that I don't want to eat anything. I don't want to smoke. I can't do anything, but I can take a pill. And on days like that, you can take something really strong or maybe not super strong, but cannabis capsules come in various dosage amounts, and that's one of my favorite ways. But topicals are amazing. They make so many different kinds. They've got cannabis infused bath soaks. Mm-hmm. Whoopi and Maya, Whoopi Goldberg has a Cannabis brand, and she makes a brand that is targeted. It's for women who are dealing with the menstrual cycle, or just women in pain, really, but it's actually for your menstrual cycle. And it's an awesome line. But they make this cannabis bath soak that's amazing. It comes in a few different scents and varieties. My favorite is lavender because I like to chill. I like to relax sort of thing. But I love the balms. I love massage oils. To me, I really like cannabis salves, but massage oils seem to penetrate quicker. And
that's good to know.
And I like the way they spread out so well. It's like you get a little bit more bang for your buck too. So I'm a big fan of massage oils and cannabis bath soaks. I mean, they've also got like little cannabis bath bombs. There's little bubble bars. It's like Lush, but infused with cannabis. It's amazing.
Yeah, I've tried a CBD bath bomb. Yeah. It was amazing too. Yeah. So relaxing.
So I have a question for you before we go into any of these questions. For patients that are just starting and just discovering medical marijuana or marijuana in general, what would you recommend to someone, like dosage-wise, if they're going to try something and buy it on their own? What kind of tips would you give someone that's trying it on their own? You know?
Yeah. Let's see. So I lived in Atlanta, Georgia, until a few years before moving to California about 3 years ago. So I had to do a lot of my own, make my own stuff, make my own edibles and things like that. So I watched a lot of videos online. I've read a lot of blogs, and bought some books and taught myself how to make all these things, being in a not so friendly state. There is a little cool decarboxylation machine called the Ardent, which will activate your cannabis. So when you get cannabis, let's say you're buying a whole flower, you're buying weed, it's THCA, which is which needs to be activated in order to, if you want to ingest it and feel some effects. And that's done by heat, which is why when people smoke it, you get high because it's combusting. When you're trying to make your own products at home and you want to do infusions, you have to activate the flower before you can infuse it into something so that it works when you ingest it. This little machine, the Ardent machine, is an activation machine. So you put your flower into the machine, you close it, you push the button, it runs through a cycle, and it activates your cannabis in about an hour and a half. And then you can take it out of there, you can make cannabis butter, you can make topicals, you can make capsules, you can do all these things with it. So it's a really awesome machine. But basically all of that to say is that you can activate your cannabis fully, and then from there you can figure out what your dosage is. If you are just starting out in the beginning, you always do it low and slow, like the smallest amount possible, just a little piece, and you ingest it and you wait up to 2 hours to feel the effects. So just do it low and slow if you're just starting out.
Any tips for new people, Jane?
I would say the same thing that Amber said, is to just start, low and slow, like you said. Just like with the gummies, like I probably would, start with like 1 or 2 gummies first, and then see how you feel after about 2 hours. And then if you feel like you want more, then take more. Less, then for next time. Perfect.
So one of the questions was, so all these products, can any of these be purchased online? At least in states where it's even recreational is legal?
You can purchase products that are hemp-derived CBD based online, correct?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So like, for example, like this is from Flower of Life CBD, and this I purchased online. Their mood products are hemp-derived CBD as well. These here, and this is like one of the most amazing products I've ever tried, and you can purchase this online as well. As for the Can Originals products here, and like these candies and this syrup that I have here, I purchased from a dispensary. So you do need your medical marijuana card to purchase anything that is derived from cannabis or has a little bit of THC in it.
Perfect. And Amber, really quick, Michael Massey says hi.
Oh, hey. What's up, Uncle Mike?
So since we're talking about that with the products online, how do you know which manufacturers to trust? Is there a way to know who to trust, or is it kind of trial and error? What do you...
Well, I mean, I'm a big researcher. I love to research. So I'm reading blogs, I'm going on forums, I'm asking questions, getting feedback from other people. That's really going to be the key, is just what the reputation is of the company, and what the feedback is from people that have used it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Are there like reliable user forums, for example, that you regularly check, or are there?
I not so much anymore, because I'm out in the dispensary all the time talking to patients and meeting people, and that's my forum. Not so much online anymore. But there is My Lupus.
My Lupus team?
Yes, My Lupus team. I check that pretty often. I like that site, and basically that's just different people in your area that are suffering from lupus kind of chime in. It's a message board, and you can just ask questions to each other, and that's a great resource.
And with My Lupus team, you can also specifically search by area and by symptoms. So if you are looking for someone that is looking for exactly what you're dealing with, and looking for someone that's also using CBD products or THC products, you can find that on that website also. What about any interactions with medications? Have you guys experienced any interactions with your medications and dealing with and doing the THC or the CBD products?
Now, obviously, everyone is very different on this.
Yeah, but just your personal.
Yeah, personally.
Experience.
So I've been prescribed Plaquenil and also diclofenac for the inflammation. And occasionally I'll have to go in and get like a steroid injection, but not very often. I've pretty much been able to kind of ingest enough cannabis to where I don't have to take this daily anti-inflammatory, which is the diclofenac. But I still take my other maintenance medication. My doctors here know that I'm taking, that I am a cannabis user. I mean, it's tattooed on my arm, so they see it. Doing whatever.
We're not going to ask to see that, but
you know, I definitely talked to my doctor about it, and the doctors, you know, here we're in California, so I have a card, and they're okay with it. They just ask if it helps, and say yes, it helps, and they're like, okay, well, great. But it's definitely something that you should discuss with your doctor, because there might be a possibility that you could have an interaction with your medication.
So it's not something you want to hide from your doctors that you're using. If you're using the products, you don't want to.
Some people might not have a choice, you know.
Oh, with certain physicians that don't approve.
Right, and let's say you're a
true.
veteran and you're seeking VA care, like they don't. That's not something that you can openly share, which is a shame. So.
I mean, like I said in the beginning, how THC started affecting me negatively after my diagnosis. I honestly am not too sure if it was because of the medications that I was taking or what. So I think for me it's hard to say with that question, but I haven't specifically had any bad interactions with the products that I'm using here and any of the medication that I'm on. So no on my part.
So we have a question about the oils and how long a bottle would approximately last. And I know most are about the same size, right? Mm-hmm. That's a general...
Yeah, I would say a month.
About a
month.
You know,
when you're purchasing something like that, expect for it to last you about a month.
And how much do they cost?
It depends. They vary.
Like, for example, that bottle from Theramir right there.
So these are actually a little bit more pricey because they are such high quality, but it's so worth it. Because this bottle will be about $125 or so, and the same with the reps. So, you know, when you're shopping for things, you're also taking into consideration, you know, the quality, because there are, you know, different topicals that you can buy that are a little bit more affordable. And not to say that those aren't good, but just speaking specifically for this, I've tried so many different ones, and it just has been the most effective for me. So for me, it's worth the cost of it. And it actually lasts for a really long time because you only need to use a little bit, and it goes such a long way. And I use it every single day. I have really bad chronic pain and joint inflammation, and I have like these spasms that feel like I have knives stabbing into my joints, and it is just like the only thing that brings me comfort.
Magnolia Wellness in Oakland, it's a dispensary. They manufacture a topical there. They make their own topical. It's called High Relief. It comes in 100 milligrams of THC strength. It's in about a 2-ounce jar. It has 50 milligrams of CBD. It's made with full extract cannabis oil, and they use a really nice base, like lemongrass and a couple of other essential oils, and a little bit of beeswax. It's an amazing topical. It's $30. I love it. Like, I use it on my hands a lot. I'm always typing and texting during the day, and around 5-6 o'clock, my hands are killing me. And so I'll just rub this topical on my hands, and it's like I'm good to go for a few more hours. And it works quickly. I really like the THC heavy topicals because they do pass through your skin so quickly, and give you relief right away, and they don't get you high. Even though there's THC in there, it's just passing through your skin, and all it's doing is giving you some relief.
How long do these results usually last for you guys? Like, depending on the product. If you were to use a balm, how long does that usually last you? If you were to vape it or smoke it, or is there different times on how long of a relief you get for each product?
With these products here that I use, I just apply a little bit on the affected area, and it gives me relief throughout the whole night. I used to not be able to sleep throughout the night because the pain was so bad. So for this, I would say it probably lasts at least like 10 hours or so, personally, for myself.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah.
It definitely, for me, depends on the strength of whatever it is. I can smoke one of my pre-rolls here, right? That's like dipped in hash oil and coated in keef, and I'm good for 2 hours. I can, lots of times when I use the topicals on my hands, I'm good for like about 2 hours. I can eat an edible, depending on the strength, and be good for 6 to 8 hours. So I guess it kind of depends on the strength of what it is and the dosage that you're getting.
Is there a reason why the edibles have such a longer lasting effect than smoking?
So it metabolizes in your body differently. When you ingest the edible, it takes time to get through your system, and when it hits your liver, it turns into something that's much more psychoactive than cannabis is smoking it. So the effects are longer, it metabolizes through your body, it just takes a much longer time to move through, and
are the effects a lot stronger?
They are a lot stronger, 11 times stronger.
11 times.
Would you say that the higher amount of milligrams it has to do with how long that the effect will last?
Definitely.
Yeah, because this one, like, I know that this has 250 milligrams of CBD, and this has 180 milligrams of CBD. So that may have to do with the long-lasting effects of it, because it is a higher dose too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the stronger it is, the longer it's going to last.
Great.
I guess this may be the last question, unless Christine has another one after.
No, I think that's it.
Are there dietary restrictions for people who may be considering cannabis? Like, is there anything they can't eat because they're taking cannabis? Of course, the people have dietary restrictions otherwise, but
I always thought cannabis was a gateway to the fridge.
Yeah.
You can eat whatever you want.
You can eat everything after your...
As long as you don't have any dietary restrictions.
The flip side of it is that, can that carry some risk? That if you're, when you're on cannabis, if you're basically, I'm saying if you have other dietary restrictions, are you less likely to obey them when you are?
Oh, no. Yeah, no. You gotta have some self-control.
Right?
You can't be lactose intolerant and decide you're gonna go eat ice cream.
So we do have another question too that was, somebody wants to know, Wendy wants to know if there's anything particularly helpful for headaches. Like, have you guys found a specific product, or have you found
the topicals are really nice. You can rub them on your temples, rub them on your forehead, rub them on the back of your neck. Topicals are awesome for headaches.
Really?
Yeah.
For headaches?
For my last support group with Theramu, the CEO of Theramu actually came and spoke to everyone and gave everyone little samples to try at the support group. And there was one patient there who suffers from just really, really horrible chronic migraines. And she actually rubbed it on her temples, just a very small amount. And she started crying from the amount of relief that she had from the product. And it was just like a very, like amazing, like,
surreal
feeling. And, it was very, like, emotional, because it's like,
To be without pain.
Yeah, she was like, I haven't, been able to feel like such relief in the longest time. It was cool. It was a good moment.
Perfect. Anything else you guys want to bring up about CBD or hemp products, marijuana, any or THC, anything? Any final tips or advice for any patients that might be wanting to try it or, you know, find out a little bit more about it?
Find out a little bit more about cannabis.
Google it. Google it. There's so many different, resources that you can go to, like whether you are on social network and you reach out to people that, talk about it and use it and just, like DM them and ask them about it and how it works for them. Or even, like just do your research, Google it, different things. But I think the best way is to talk to people that actually use it and, have like similar symptoms to you maybe.
Yeah, I would agree. To definitely get a conversation going. Talking to people is really helpful. Know your dose. If you're going to start taking edibles, start out low and slow, very little. Wait a couple hours. Try a little bit more if you're ready. And MedicalJane.com is a great resource for finding out how cannabis can help different types of ailments. They have an awesome article on cannabis and lupus that I always share with different people that ask me about lupus. Or I have a lot of my friends who have friends who suffer from lupus and will ask me, what can I do? How does cannabis help lupus? So that article is a great resource. So check out MedicalJane.com. And also, if you're in California and you are a medical cannabis patient, definitely feel free to stop by any Bay Area dispensary and pick up my popcorn, which is Leisure Life. It's an indica dominant brand, guaranteed to chill.
How do you find dispensaries, by the way? Are they listed somewhere?
And how do you find your products? Like, if you're looking for specific products, are there sites?
Yeah, you can go to my website, thechilledible.com is my website, and you can find out more information about my products as well as our California rolls. And we're at a couple of Bay Area dispensaries here, a couple of delivery services, Stash Twist, Mirage Medicinal, and also the Ganja Tribe Pharmacy in the Bay Area. And you can stop by Magnolia Wellness in Oakland to find the products as well.
And also there is a website called weedmaps.com that you can go onto, and you'll just have to create an account, and you can actually search in your area. It'll automatically tell you all the dispensaries and all the delivery services in your area. So that's a great way, and you can see their full menu and what they have and search for what you're looking for. And also, just a side note, if anyone has Instagram, you can always reach out to me. It's at Jane Does, JANDOEEZ, and you can just contact me. And if you have any questions, I am more than you're more than welcome to contact me, and I'll answer them as I can.
Perfect. So, I'm back. And I want to thank Jane and Amber for both being with us. I want to let you all know that you can go ahead, if you joined us late, you can go ahead and watch this again. It'll be rebroadcast, or it'll actually be on our Facebook page. Once this is over, you can find it there. And I also, what was the other thing that was on my list that I wanted to remind them of? Hold on one second. It's the brain lupus fog. Oh! Okay, now I'm back. I remember what it was. It was actually that I am going to put a link to all of their products in our, right here in the feed down below. So look for that also if you're interested in any of those products. And I'm going to try and find that article from Amber, and I'll post that on our Facebook page and our Twitter pages also if you want to look for that. Later on today, give me a little bit of time to go home and relax. But I want to thank all of you, or both of you, for joining us. I want to remind you all, we do have our 5K coming up in June. If you're interested in sponsoring, if you're interested in donating, you can go ahead and do that. It is May...
World Lupus Day.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's writing something on the board, and I don't even know what he's doing. May 10th is actually World Lupus Day. So we are asking you to... contact your congressman, your representatives. We're looking for, what is it that we're looking for? I'll let Standing come. Oh, he's not going to come in. So it is join the World Lupus Day community and sign the petition. So we have a petition to make lupus a global health concern with the World Health Organization. And you can sign this petition at worldlupusday.org. And I'll also put some links again down there for later on. So thank you for joining us. You can contact Jane if you have any questions, and all of Amber's products. You can go ahead and try those out if you're in California. And we'll see you at our next live Lupus 101 series. Bye-bye.